Using the Geospatial Instant Messenger component of ERDAS Titan, you can share local geospatial data with others on the Titan network. Under the My Data tab, you can add raster, vector, and KML or KMZ files, and share these data sets with permissions to others on the Titan network. It's important to note that raster and vector data is read into Titan utilizing an open source project called GDAL. So looking at the Instant Messenger now, I already have some data sets loaded in here. I have a few Imagine files, have a few shape files, and also have a KMZ file. And there's already permissions associated with some of these files. So if the file is designated as public, this means that anyone on the Titan network can search, find, and access this data set into applications that they use on their desktop. If the designation is restricted, this means that I've only shared this data set with particular individuals and groups. If the data set has a no permissions designation, this means I've loaded the data up into the Instant Messenger, but I haven't shared it with anyone. This has utility to me because I can right-click and use a right mouse menu and load this data into different applications I use on my desktop. I can also copy a WMS link and paste that URL into WMS compliant applications. So bridging data in the Instant Messenger has utility to me as well. So let's look now at adding some data sets and setting permissions for them. I can do that in a couple of ways. I have an Add Files button here that'll open the Add Files dialog box. And I can select one or multiple files. I can click the OK button, or I can just drag and drop. So I can add files that way. I can also utilize my Windows Explorer, dragging and dropping data in from my hard drive or network drives. So now I've added a couple of data sets. So I'm going to select the two data sets I've added, plus I'll select one more and change permissions for that along with the other ones. So I do so by clicking this key icon, which opens up the permissions dialog box. In the permissions dialog box, I can see the three files I've selected, and I can also see the three different designations I can choose from. I can set all of these to have no permissions, so I may be returning files that I had set permissions to back to having no permissions. I can set them as public and make them available to all, and I can also set these files to being restricted, meaning I secondarily will choose different work groups and individuals and create a list of groups and individuals that I want to share this data to privately. When I'm done, I simply click OK. And now I see that those data sets have a new designation of restricted. So one more thing I'd like to show you is that right now we're looking at data sets organized by data name. I can click this icon. Here I see data sets organized and grouped into categories based on whom I'm sharing them to. So here's all the data sets I'm sharing publicly. Here's a parent group folder. Here's all the data sets I'm sharing to my own network. Here's data sets I'm sharing to these individuals and the individuals' names. And then at the bottom there is a no permissions folder showing the data sets that I have bridged in the Instant Messenger, but I'm not sharing with anyone yet.